Can you believe it? You have now made it to stage 4 of your MMDD 255 Emerging Multimedia Practice 2 projects. That's an incredible thing to witness. Stage 4, this is the final stage. The end is in sight. It's so close, you can start to taste it. I'm getting some cherry hints. What does it taste like to you? We'll have to see. But it's very close, okay? That also means crunch time. For many of you, I'm certain. As you already know, the project timeline for this class was condensed from last semester, right? Last semester you had 14 weeks. You could be, sort of cruising through. You could be dancing. You could be hanging out, even though I know you really weren't. I know it was a stressful semester for you. But this time around, that was condensed, right? It went from 14 weeks to 9 weeks. And so that means that the end might feel closer and faster than you maybe initially anticipated, but it is coming, I promise you. So it's very important for you to reach this end on time, okay? Just as a bit of a review, you know what? I'll do my classic. I'll just get into the critical path here. Let's see what that's about. We're on Blackboard. We're going to the critical path, classic. Here it is. Oh, you did stage 1. You researched, you planned out your project, right? You determined what you'd be working on during these 9 weeks. You did your pre-production work, weeks 3 through 5. You met with me during that time. We talked about your project, made sure things were on a good track, and your stage 2 was due. Then stage 3, the production stage, you would be going deep into your production work at this point in time, and it was very important for you to finish your production work at this stage, right? That's key, so that you won't be having to, still edit your videos or still make your prototype or all those grand, very important things about your project at the very end, right? So you should have the production work completed. Okay. Also, during stage 3, you would have met with your peers. Fantastic, wonderful. Hopefully those were helpful meetings that you had, good opportunities to connect with one another. Also, I should note here too that the sort of requirement to have to connect with each other and make a group chat or navigate schedules and set a meeting, those are all intended things for you to have to do for that sort of assignment. It isn't even just the feedback part of it. That's kind of the final output, but the literal logistics of just getting a group of people together is extremely important for you to learn and get comfortable with as you enter on into your careers after this class, after this semester. It's coming quick. I know that might seem scary, but it's exciting for you. So stage 3, you would have met with your peers as well. And ideally at that point is when you would have gotten some, final perspectives on, your work as you were finishing it up to just help you, again, tweak anything here and there as you're finishing up your project work. And then now here we are in stage 4, very quick, very fast, right? Really just 1 week of time to do this, because you should have your project work completed, so that all you're doing at this point is putting together your Behance case study, which, believe it or not, you've done before. So this time around, it should ideally require less time from you. You should be more comfortable with the process. You should know better what to expect. So you should know that, waiting until an hour before it's due to put together your case study probably is not the best idea, because you need good time to put something impactful together. And as always, this case study isn't just for me to look at and be dazzled by, but it's something for you to have on your professional portfolio to help you in your career, right? Especially starting out your careers here. So having a strong project is very important. So put in that work, make something great, make something impactful, dazzle me, but also dazzle, potential future employers. It's very important. So that's the critical path, and yes, we're in stage 4, so I will go through the stage 4 information here. First, we have an overview. Oh my goodness, look at this. No late submissions will be accepted. You must finish your project and case study on time to receive a SAT in the course. So this is very important for stage 4. You must submit it on time, okay? This is your final deliverable in this course. Professional expectations are that you will get this final deliverable in on time. right? So that might mean that if you were planning on, kind of not doing that for some reason, that you really set your priorities straight so that you get this in on time, okay? After the due date, if your project isn't submitted, you're going to have to take this class again. That's not a great time for anyone. I don't want you to have to do that. You don't want to have to do that. No one wants anyone to have to do that. So the power is in your hands to finish this thing and get it in on time, and then you can party and do whatever you want with your life. Well, there's a lot of other things you have to do, of course, in school, elsewhere, but hopefully you can at least celebrate that experience. Overview, you've now reached stage 4, finalize and deliver for your multimedia project. The goal of this stage is to polish your work and prepare it for presentation. You'll refine your project, review all the elements, and ensure everything aligns with your initial vision before delivering the final product. Purpose of stage 4. This stage is focused on fine-tuning and finalizing your project. You will revisit all your assets and content, ensuring they are cohesive, polished, and ready for submission or presentation. So you'll review and refine your work, paying attention to details such as typos, consistency, visuals, and overall flow. Conduct a thorough quality check to identify any mistakes or areas for improvement. Develop a final case study for your portfolio showcasing your project, and share your case study with peers on a discussion board. You won't be required to make comments and submit those this time, just because I wanted to give you a bit more time to just be able to finish the case study. But there is still the requirement to at least post a link to your case study on a discussion board so that you can view each other's projects. And guess what? Even though it's not an assignment for you to comment on each other's work, you're more than encouraged to still do so, and hopefully you'll feel compelled to do so to help each other out, give each other some, helpful and positive feedback on their work. Key takeaway: the more thorough and well prepared you were during the earlier stages, the smoother the finalization process will be. Don't rush this step. Taking the time to review and polish your project will elevate its quality. Ensure that every element is cohesive and aligns with your original concept before delivering your finished work for the world to see. Woohoo! Once again, the world is seeing this, not just me. Stage 4 breakdown. This stage is one part lasting 1 week. Look at this. You're seeing live behind the scenes. 1 week. Okay, yeah, that was from last semester. So once again, no peer comments. And excellent, we're updated. So this stage is one part lasting 1 week. Maybe you couldn't even see that because my little screen's over here. Anyway, stage 4, week 9, develop your final Behance case study. Woohoo! Share your work on the sharing board. And there also is a feedback form I would ask for you to please complete. Each submission will also request an associated timesheet and an updated project plan. It'll be your final timesheet and your final project plan, okay? It's all ending. It's exciting. So make sure to track your coursework time and check off tasks in your project plan as you complete them. That's an overview of stage 4. And I know there's, things in there about tweaking your project and stuff like that. Again, tweaking, it means very small changes. It doesn't mean, okay, I still have to create this whole grand asset, or I still have, 5 minutes left I have to edit of my video. That's not tweaking. Tweaking is, you know what? In the title of my video, there's a typo. Let me just change the letter. That's tweaking, not finishing your project, not still creating things from scratch or anything like that, okay? There is a Behance case study guideline, similar to what you were given last semester, that tells you what all to include in your case study. First, it's recommended you search Behance for case studies of similar projects. This can give you a sense of some industry standards as well as which case studies stand out and which ones don't, to give you insight into your own approach. Honestly, you can go back to the Blackboard for last semester, I think, if you can still access it. Go to the sharing board there, the discussion board, and you can see everyone's projects from last semester. Take a look around, right? See how your peers did their case studies. Get a sense of which ones you think are strong and which ones maybe are a bit weaker, right? And then ask yourself, okay, what kind of case study do I want to create, right? What level of quality do I want it to be? Once again, that is what you then give out to the world, okay? Structure. The case study needs to use the following structure. You can vary as needed depending on your project, but it should follow this overall structure, or at the very least should include all this information. Start your article with something to catch your reader's attention. Whoa, right? Like an eye-grabbing component of your final project. Something that makes someone go, wow, I want to learn more about this. Wow, this is impressive. Wow, this is awesome, okay? How do you do that? It's a Great question. Project overview. State your chosen topic area and project direction. For example, a motion graphics campaign for Nike, right? Very clear and direct. Here's what the project is. Project goal. State your overall goal with this project. For example, 1 motion poster and 2 social media ads promoting the new Air Jordans, right? Making this clear, okay? Here's sort of the main title for the project of what it is. Here's the actual goals that I had for myself. Technology used. List the key technologies, software, apps, hardware that you use for this project. This is very important because, once again, this is for people to look at when you're applying for positions. So if you want to show proficiency with particular software, you list that here. You say, hey, I used After Effects for this. And guess what? On your job posting, it says proficient with After Effects. Check this out, okay? Check this out as well in red. Include any use of AI tools here. Be honest. Even if it was used to improve the writing for this case study, there's no benefit to you not simply being transparent and saying that you used AI tools for particular things. That could be image generation, right? That could be writing help. That could be even some ideation, okay? What you don't want to do is not include that, which would technically be lying. And again, since this is something you are using to present yourself professionally, if it's written perfectly and it's really well written, and you don't say that you use ChatGPT to help with your writing, then someone might hire you and think, wow, they can write really well. Here's a whole bunch of stuff to write. And then suddenly you're like, oh, well, I didn't actually write that thing. Let me just run all this through ChatGPT. Then they catch wind of that, and then they say, what's going on? What's going on? Then they say, no soup for you, right? So be transparent, be open. Just say if you used AI and how you used it. That's all you got to do, okay? No benefit to not doing that. Creative process. This is the real meat and potatoes of your case study. Discuss the creative process and learning you completed across the semester. This should come across as a story on how you went from starting the project to finishing it, including key process materials, ideation work, sketches, drafts, etc., and commentary. A good rule of thumb is to include an example from each stage of the project. This will show crucial creative development. A key reason why I have you submit this work at these stages and force you to actually include screenshots and stuff like that of what you're doing is because now you can go back and say, oh, there's my storyboard, right? Or there's those sketches I did of my logo. They're already there. I already have them screenshotted or captured or whatever. So let me just use those in my case study, right? So you've done a lot of this work already. It's literally just compiling it and putting it into this nice, beautiful package. So review your previous submissions, review your previous project work, pull things from that. And like I said, you can just follow taking one example from each stage to show growth that you took, that you had, right? That's what this is about. And then your final project, showcase your final completed project as the culmination of your creative process. You say, look, here's the process I went through. Here's my sketches. Here's my storyboard, da-da-da-da-da. And here's the grand final thing. Wow, can you believe that I accomplished that? Can you believe that I did it in a self-directed manner? Can you believe the power that I have as a creator? Those are the things to communicate. Those are the things to try and highlight, right? As you are using this to try and get positions and become a professional. This is interesting. You are advised to embed your creative work, for instance, Figma prototype, video uploads, etc., in a way that integrates seamlessly into your case study. Troubleshoot for your particular project and content. Okay, so as you go through case studies, whether that's ones from last semester of your peers, whether that's other professional case studies, you'll see they look nice and slick. Well, if they're done well, they look nice and slick. The videos are perfectly embedded in there. The prototype, it's right in the case study. It's in the laptop thing, mock-up. You can just scroll around and click on it. It's awesome, right? Rather than saying, hey, here's a link. Then you click on the link and then, okay, now it doesn't even fit my screen on my computer, right? That's not great. Embed it so that it is nicely integrated, okay? Again, you want to come across as impressive with this. If you're just sharing links that lead to weird, janky stuff, that does not come across as impressive, unfortunately, okay? And if your video suddenly takes up half your case study, while the text is super small or something like that, also doesn't come across as impressive or polished. Okay, so spend time getting this thing nicely put together. All right. And it says troubleshoot for your particular project and content, because once again, that's always dependent on what software you're using, what it is you're creating. Just try to get it embedded and working seamlessly together into your case study. Here are some examples of previous students' Behance case studies. I even included some standout examples from last semester. So take a look at those. They're fresh, right? They're hot off the press. So take a look at them, see what your peers and colleagues did, and how they were able to showcase their work, okay? Resources. Below are some helpful resources for putting your case study together on Behance. There's resources for the creation. I even added this here, formatting images for display, right? Using the correct dimensions so it fits best on Behance. How to publish your project, how to use Photoshop for your case study, Illustrator, After Effects. There's other links here on how to put the case study together, how to make it catchy, how to make it cool. These are just some of the descriptors here, as well as some writing tips there as well on how to write case studies. Okay, so all kinds of resources there. So use time to actually consult these resources, rather than not doing so and then saying, well, I didn't know what to do, right? Again, this is self-directed learning. This is troubleshooting. This is you using guidelines and resources to help you put something nice together. Ask your peers too, right? Y'all are connected with each other. You're in your remote team as well. Say, hey, how did you do this in your case study last semester? Or, I'm trying to do this. Anyone have any thoughts on how I could do that? Again, you're all in the same boat. You're meant to help each other. Final submission. It is here, folks. And look at this. Stage 4 submission, no late submissions. It's in the title of the submission. Why did I do that? So that there's no, oh, well, I didn't see that. Okay, there already wouldn't be an excuse because it's elsewhere, right? Even if you open this up, it says no late submissions will be accepted. Inevitably, I'm going to hear, well, I didn't see that. Oh, my goodness. You didn't see it. It's right there, right? And it says it, no late submissions in the title. Okay, so no excuses, all right? It's there. You know that there's no late submissions here. Keep saying it. I keep saying it. Deliverable requests. Your final timesheet. Oh, your final timesheet. How blissful that will feel. An updated, your final project plan. Oh, my gosh. It's the final project plan. You won't have to do this again for this project, but you probably still will have to make project plans in your career and update them. But, oh my goodness, you've already done it this time, so you should have some skills doing that. And then your Behance case study link. Okay, and there's a link here to the guideline once again. And you are required to share on the Behance sharing board to receive credit. Okay, so literally just post a link. Oh, this is to last semester. I'll update the link here. But share a link to your Behance case study here, okay? And once again, this semester, peer comments aren't necessary, but you are, now I'm in the other Blackboard. Oh, I'll go back here. But you are strongly recommended to still access each other's projects, see the great things that students were working on this semester, and provide comments to them on Behance to help the algorithm and everyone can see your work and celebrate together, okay? Work items for your timesheet. That should say timesheet, not invoice. Well, it says it right there. Your timesheet should reflect the following tasks. Finalizing work, specify tasks, right? If you needed to do some final tweaks. Again, tweaks, not final project work, but tweaks, small things. And your case study development. That's going to take a lot of time. So give yourself good time to do so, okay? And look at this. No late waivers are permitted for the submission. Great. It says it right there again. And, okay, if I see when this is due, it's due on March 19th, okay? That's a Wednesday. And if we actually go into, so here's also a link to the Behance sharing board, okay? And here it says share a link to your case study. You are required to post a link, but you aren't required to comment. Once again, because that just saves you an additional thing to submit on Blackboard. Last semester, you had to take screenshots of your comments, submit them on Blackboard with a reflection. I'm taking that out this time just so you can focus on actually finishing this thing. Calendar. Month. Okay, I'm recording this March 5th. Your stage 3 submission is due on the 10th. This shouldn't be there. That's a weird bug, but I'll fix that. All that to say, stage 3 is due the 10th. Initially, I had stage 4 due on the 17th, but I said, you know what? I'll give you a little bit extra time. Okay, so I've moved it to the 19th. But I can't. I mean, that's already pretty much technically beyond like this 9-week semester or whatever. So giving you a little bit extra time. Okay, more than just a week. You have a week and 2 days to get your stage 4 submission together. Get your case study completed. The sooner the better. Speaking of which, there's been students submitting their stage 3 work early, ahead of time. What a beautiful thing to see. What an absolutely incredible, wonderful thing to see. So, you know what? You don't have to wait until Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. to submit that thing. You are more than welcome to submit it ahead of time. That would be excellent. And the last thing I will ask of you is there's a form here for MMDD 232 and 255 feedback. At this point, you would have gone through 2 semesters worth of these self-directed projects. Okay, this should only take around 3 to 5 minutes. It's just asking you, how developed do you feel particular skills are from taking these classes? You could say remote. My self-directed learning, undeveloped. I didn't learn anything about self-directed learning. Please be honest. Connecting with colleagues and peers, very undeveloped, right? Maintaining deadlines, you know what? I was great at that. Just reflect, and hopefully these won't be your actual answers here, but reflect and ask yourself, okay, in going through these courses, how much did I develop these particular skills, okay? Then there's just some other questions here for you to answer that will just help me. And then, please provide any additional insights on how these courses could be improved or streamlined for future MMDD students. If these courses were to be renamed, because I know emerging multimedia practice is kind of amalgamous and vague and it doesn't necessarily make all that much sense, what would be a more applicable name for this class? That would actually be important for me to know, because maybe I could try to change it in the future. And please provide any additional comments in the course here. Okay, that would be super helpful for me. It's anonymous, and like I said, you've now been through 2 semesters of this. If you're super tired of this whole thing, be honest. Say, you know what, this is too much of that. If you think that it was a great learning experience, let me know. That would be great to know, okay? And I actually do ask in there as well, did your project from last semester help you secure your work placement? That would be great for me to know. Yes, it did. No, it didn't. Or no answer if you haven't secured your work placement. But if it's been the case that your project you worked on last semester was important in, securing your work placement and putting it in your portfolio and showing it to potential employers, that would be great for me to know, right? Just some valuable sort of data to have. And then you are done. Oh my goodness. Okay. After all that hootenanny, you would have gone through this grand project process and ended up on the other side. And I believe in you. I know you can do it. I know you can get it in on time. You've got this. Come on, easy peasy. You've got this. And it's interesting because I was in a meeting with like industry people in the design industry, and they're talking about what is it that they see from new hires coming out of school that they feel like they could use more development with, right? A lot of the things were things that you are developing and learning in this class. So I'm hopeful that you will come out of this experience well prepared in the industry. But they said things like, the new hires needing to be able to plan out their work, right, with things like a project plan, to see things in a broader sense and then have tasks associated that they sort of work on. And then in that sense too, being self-directed, not needing someone to tell them every step of the way, you need to do this, you need to do that, but having the initiative to sort of take on tasks and move forward with them and do things on time and all of those grand old things. Also important was like, etiquette and ability to conduct online meetings, right? So you would have met with your peers and had to figure out, okay, you know what, I'll start first. And, talk again, even scheduling those meetings was important, as well as coming to your one-on-one meetings with me, right? Conducting yourself professionally, ideally in those meetings, to develop those skills as well, because you're going to be doing meetings and all kinds of stuff when you get in the industry, and they're not going to be super everyone has to wear a suit and tie, but just being able to be comfortable in those environments and, oh, let me share my screen. Boop. Not, oh, let me share my screen. Oh, it wants me to install this. Oh, wait, I have to re-log in. Oh, let me restart my computer. That doesn't necessarily give off the best impression, right? So again, and I'm not saying these things to, demean anyone who went through those problems in this course. What I am saying is that now was the time to have those problems. Guess what? Now you know, okay? And you also know to do things on time, to show up to meetings on time, to do all those grand things on time, okay? And if you can't do those things on time, say, hey, you know what? XYZ, so let's talk about this, okay? Ideally, I won't be receiving too many of those with this final submission because, like I said, no late submissions, okay? I'm really trying to say, boom, all right? And I know you might say, oh, well, he's pretty lenient. Sometimes he lets me do this, that, and the other. Please don't put me in that position, okay? I want you to finish this on time, okay, so that I can say, you know what, they did this thing, and they get credit for the course, and they can move on. They don't have to do it with me again, okay? You don't want to have to do this again. No one wants to have to do this again, okay? I need a whole new batch of students to do this with. Anyways, I'm really rattling on here. But all that to say, there's a lot of important stuff you're learning in these classes. So I'm hopeful you're able to reflect on that and see what sort of development you have been able to do across this process. And you can reflect on that development in that final sort of feedback form that I provided there. But before all that happens, before you can party and celebrate for ending this class, you do have to finish this stage of the project in getting your case study together. And if you have any concerns or questions as you're working on this, okay, I'm always available here via Blackboard Messenger, or even if you need to meet again or something, let me know. Okay, I am here as a ideal resource for you to exploit during this process. So, as I always say, good luck.